The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
So you're telling me there's a chance the Jets are still alive after this weekend's games across the league? Can they actually pull it off? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Richie from Jets Media joins us. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We didn't let the outside noise and world divide us. That game right there represents exactly where the process of this thing is. We're all we got. We're all we need, man. That's it.
Your first win, man.
Yeah.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed the mini bye after the Jets win on Thursday. Stress-free football watching yesterday. Thank you to all the Asmaniacs who tuned into the radio show on ESPN New York yesterday for the 4 hours I was on. I want to thank everyone who helped the channel reach 40,000 subscribers. And, of course, I want to thank Gator for putting together an epic recap of the Asmaniac meetup, the group buy we did, all of us watching the game together in section 128 and 129. Check out that video posted yesterday on the channel if you have yet to see it. Reminder, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like the video, and if you want more content, if you want to join our Discord, if you want 15% off every merch item, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. That is the best way to support me as I continue to do this full-time. Jet Set Go, Nicholas F., Kevin Bracco, Chris Coyle, Big Zeus, Jason Small, Mario Correa, Kevin Hagan, Portland Jet Fan, and D. Thomas all signed up from Thursday night to now for the Patreon. Thank you all for your incredible support. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Joining me today to talk all things New York Jets is one of the best Jet content creators out there, Jets Media, a.k.a. our guy Richie. What's up, Richie?
Jake, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's a pleasure. I'm excited to talk some Jets. Shout out to the chat, everybody that's tuning in. Happy Monday. It's a stress-free weekend. It felt good to have a stress-free weekend after an actual win on Thursday Night Football. So, Jake, thank you so much for having me on. Excited to get into it.
The Jets, look, it is unlikely. I'm not going to take back everything I said and everything I'm sure you said on your show. I saw some of the clips of you going nuts after the Patriot game, and rightfully so. But you look at where they are right now. You look at the AFC standings, and despite how bad it has been, the New York Jets right now are the 10th seed in the conference. You look at what that means moving forward. If they essentially get the 10 wins, I think they're definitely in. 9 depending on some of the tiebreaker scenarios, conference record, etc., they have a legitimate chance. And if you look at the games over the weekend, Richie, Bills beat the Dolphins, which I hate seeing the Bills win, but at this point, it's better for the Jets for Miami to be out of the picture than for Miami to pick up a win. So that's good for the Jets. The Vikings last night, thank you, Sam Darnold. Minnesota beating the Colts is huge for the Jets. And that game, by the way, kind of mirrored the Jets' first half and second half against Houston with the way Minnesota played. And then you look at some of the other games. You had the Ravens defeating the Broncos 41-10. That's huge. Of the 2 games that could have went the Jets' way, we didn't get help from the Browns. We didn't get help from the Raiders, as those teams unfortunately unable to get it done. Chargers beat Cleveland and Cincinnati beat Vegas. But all things considered, 3 of the 5 games that you wanted to go to the Jets' way over the weekend actually occurred. So, Richie, what did you make of what we saw over the weekend and how that impacts the Jets?
I'll be honest with you, Jake. I feel like all the X factors of other teams in the AFC winning, losing, like that all I'm not personally looking at just yet because we have no room for error. I think that the way I look at it from the Jets' perspective is there's 8 games left. You got to win 7 of the last 8 games to get in the playoffs. I don't really think yeah, I mean, playoffs. Playoffs, 13 years, right? That's what we're waiting for. The playoffs.
Playoffs?
We had playoff aspirations going into the season.
I just hope we can win a game.
Oh my God. It's the truth. I mean, the playoffs is what we wanted since we went into the season, Jake, even competing for the division. Now we know the division's out of the equation with the Bills running away with it. And I think that the AFC, what happened this weekend, definitely goes in our favor. But none of that matters if we don't win out or win 7 of the last 8 games. Maybe win 6 of the last 8 games, you squeak in at 9 wins. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it, Jake. I got to focus on this Jets football team beating the Arizona Cardinals and string together even multiple wins in a row before I can buy back in thinking all these other teams winning and losing is going to make any impact.
And especially now when you look at this game on Sunday, I think for a while, people just assumed Arizona was going to be an easy game. One, the Jets have proven no game is easy. They're the Jets. They just lost to New England, as we saw 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks ago. We saw, obviously a week ago. It's crazy how many games the Jets have played in such a short time, and now they only play 2 games in the entire month of November. Oh, by the way. But you look at this game on Sunday, Richie, Arizona's a good football team. They got some good players. They got an athletic quarterback who can run. That's been a problem for the Jets. They have a good running game. That's going to be an issue potentially for the Jets. I do think if they could somehow get a win in Arizona, you feel good about your chances coming home against Indy and getting the 5-6 at the bye week and then getting healthy. But really, Jets are playing playoff football every game here down the stretch. This game next week, they have to find a way to get it done. But why am I going to sit here and expect the Jets to win on Sunday when the last time they had a great Thursday night win and they had extra time to prepare, they came out about as flat as a pancake as you could come out against Denver at home. So, look, it's a different head coach. It's now Jeff Ulbricht's opportunity with more time to prepare. I hope it's somehow different, but I got to see it to believe it with this team right now. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think it's a see it to believe it. I mean, I usually am the most optimistic Jets fan you'll ever meet, but just these 5 losses in a row, Jake, especially the Patriots loss, really broke me where I'm like, this Jets team needs to prove it to me before I start hyping them up all again. And that win against the Texans was phenomenal, but I need back-to-back wins. I need consecutive W's. I need to see this team be able to stare adversity in the face and overcome it because they've been staring adversity in the face and they've allowed the adversity to win the battle. And now we finally saw an opportunity for them to be at home on Halloween night, Thursday night, with the whole world watching and not be embarrassing. And what were we saying at halftime, Jake? I mean, at halftime of that game, it was like, we're done. I mean, we're absolutely done. But then something switched, and we saw a different version of Aaron Rodgers. We saw a different version of Garrett Wilson becoming like absolutely ridiculous. 2 one-handed grabs, the greatest catch you'll ever see. And then the icing on the cake, Jake, we saw Aaron Rodgers get a game-winning touchdown to seal the deal to Devontae Adams. Like that half right there is what Jets fans are going to cling on to for hope of like if they can make this a 4-quarter thing against this Arizona Cardinals team, the sky is the limit because the issue of this football team is not talent. It's just putting it all together. Maybe that game can spiral something positive, but I'm just going to tame my expectations because my expectations have been so high and they've not been meeting it, and I've been mentally frustrated. And I went into that Texans game with the lowest of expectations, expecting a loss, and that happened. So maybe I'm going to keep doing that in a hope that it'll keep working.
Look, at the end of the day, it was nice to get a win. It was nice to stop the bleeding. It was nice to get that mini bye week for the Jets and watch football yesterday and, actually not be just depressed the entire day. But it's one game. And they got to prove that what we saw in the second half is now the start of this team putting it together. To me, it really comes down to what we saw offensively from the Jets, Richie, because that was the offense we were envisioning before the year started. Now you have Devontae in the mix, him and Rodgers on the same page. Garrett is becoming the superstar wide receiver we knew he was certainly capable of. If you watched him the last 2 years, he's been great. I mean, he's had overall a phenomenal season, and I think he has so much room to continue to get better with this quarterback, but might be too little too late, and it's definitely too little too late if they don't win on Sunday, and that's really where it starts. So hopefully Rodgers had plenty of cayenne pepper in his water. I will consume some of this on the air at some point this week. And if Rodgers, who looked mobile, more mobile than he had been, especially with that scramble to pick up the first down that was called back, if he comes out and plays really well, they can beat anyone that's left on their schedule. But the variable of game to game, not knowing which Jets team you're going to get, that's what concerns you now going into this game on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think a big part of the game Thursday that gives me a lot of optimism, Jake, is not only Rodgers finding Garrett Wilson twice, finding Devontae Adams, and seeing the offense score points, but we saw the defense kind of get back to their identity. Like 8 sacks is something to hang your hat on. Will McDonald is an emerging star. Having Hassan Reddick back, you can see the presence of him off the edge is opening things up for Quinnen Williams up the middle. Like, we're seeing this defense kind of go back to what we are used to seeing in the last 2 years. And Jake, like, why were we so excited this upcoming season? It was because Aaron Rodgers mixed with the elite level defense, you feel like you can do a lot. And it feels like before the Texans game, the defense was playing not up to the caliber we expected them. And there was a lot of issues around Aaron Rodgers. We thought those situations around Rodgers would be really good, where Rodgers can come in here and be average and kind of just run the football, but those things aren't working. So if those things around Rodgers start to click, and then Rodgers and Devontae and Garrett Wilson can click, everything's going to change. So maybe we saw a little glimpse of the full potential we've been hyping up this team to see come out there and dominate. It's just a matter of, can they do that against the Arizona Cardinals? Because this is a week-by-week season now. Like we said, there's no room for error. You look at the Bills, Jake, they're 7-2. They can lose 3 in a row and afford that. The Jets cannot. We lost 5 straight. We got to go win 5 in a row in order to win this, save the season, in my opinion.
100%. Ladies and gentlemen, we are making it rain nice and early on the show today. How about our guy Dre? I sat in front of Dre, I should say, at this game on Thursday, and Dre's prediction of 28 touchdowns for Garrett Wilson this year. We started to see why, Richie, in that game after what Garrett did. So, Dre, this is for you, baby.
Let's get brick up.
All right, here we go. If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. And if you're watching live right now and you want a channel membership, we need all the members we can get, baby. Click on Dre's name. Hit the button that says you want to receive a gifted membership. If someone else gifts one, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and you got a chance for YouTube to randomly assign you one. Jetwing67, RS, Jeremy Osborne, Sadqua, Flowers, and Zonix, all receiving a channel membership. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Couple super chats here, then we'll get back to the overall conversation with Richie. Dana says, we don't say die until 9, parentheses, losses. Yeah, look, 9-8 might be good enough to get you in, but really, you can't think about 9-8 and all that. Like, beat Arizona, because you gotta stack wins. Like, if you beat the Texans like they did and played well, and then you come out flat and you lose in Arizona, what did you really do? You know, what did you really do? Like, it's going to take a winning streak to get above 500. They could go on a winning streak, and they're still only going to be 5-6 into their bye week. So there's so much, Richie, they have to still do before you could really believe this is a playoff team.
Exactly, and I did not want, like, even going to the Texans game, I said, if they somehow pull off this win, I'm going to be happy, but I'm not going to get sucked back in yet until they can prove that they can do this multiple weeks in a row. And they showed that we all know there's talent. That's never been the issue, but they got to be able to stack it, stay healthy, and just play for each other and have fun out there, man. And it feels like they found some fun out there on Thursday night.
It certainly does. All right, some more super chats coming through the pipeline here. This one's also from Dre. He says, oh, my God, Jake and Richie, I did not have heavy hitters on a Monday morning. FYI, we're already in the playoffs now. We can't afford a loss, period. I mean, that is the one thing. Now, it's risky because you have no, wiggle room. But, like, the Jets every week are essentially playing playoff games. So that either will sink a team or motivate a team. Like, there's no excuse for the Jets to ever come out flat down the stretch here. They're playing what is essentially a playoff game each week now, these next 8 games.
And, like, think of it from a delusional positive perspective, Jake. Like, the way that this could flip around, if it goes well, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. You rather start bad in a season and finish strong. You want to go into the playoffs with momentum. So, like, the fact that the Jets are where they are right now, like, hypothetically speaking, if we started this season 6-3 and then we fall apart at the end and we miss the playoffs, that's a little bit worse. But if we start slow and hopefully gain some momentum and then we go into the playoffs, the Packers were 3-6 last year, Jake. They were 3-6. They went on a winning streak. They finished 9-8. They squeaked into the playoffs, and they won a playoff game. So there is an opportunity. We're not mathematically eliminated yet, Jake.
Adam, HW. He's been an Asmaniac for 4 months. What's up, Adam? Jake and Richie, you guys are the best. All we can do is take it one game at a time. Focus on Arizona. We need to be 5-6 at the bye, no matter what. Let's go. And by the way, I do think that game between the Jets and Colts is going to remain in primetime, not necessarily because of the Colts, but because of the Jets winning on Thursday. It's still Rodgers, Devontae, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall in primetime, New York market. I think we'll know by tomorrow. The NFL has to decide if they're leaving Jets Colts on Sunday night. I think NBC is going to want the Jets. They're a ratings monster.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Jets are on primetime for a reason. And as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, man, people are going to be watching. Whether we're good or bad, Jake, we get talked about no matter what. I will say, though, Jake, I am a little worried about 9-8 not getting us in because the Broncos are some reason just a really good football team all of a sudden. And if they're 9-8 and we're 9-8, they have the tiebreaker over us because they beat us head to head, right? I mean, we got to beat the Colts in order to get to there. The Chargers, the Bengals, I don't know. Like right now, do you think if we're 9-8 and we're tied hypothetically with the Bengals, tied with the Broncos, like how is the tiebreaker going to work by then?
Yeah, so I actually see Denver losing some games here. So I'm going to pull up the AFC standings overall. In fact, you can't even really see where the Jets are because of my Chiron ticker here. So let me make an adjustment, make it bigger for everyone out there who doesn't have great eyesight, including me, by the way. It's tough to say. There we go. So here's where the Jets are in the standings. Now, in 2 weeks, the Jets actually could be the 7th seed. Here's how that happens. Week 10, Ravens beat the Bengals. I believe that game's on Thursday this week. Chiefs over the Broncos. Denver has yet to play Kansas City at all this year. So in theory, there could be 2 losses coming for Denver if the Chiefs do what they're supposed to do. Jets need to beat the Cardinals next week. Now you look ahead to week 11. If the Jets beat the Colts and the Falcons beat Denver, boom, the Jets are the 7th seed. So we could flip that quickly if the Jets win and those results I just gave you happen, which is not impossible to happen. I mean, what we need to have happen, the betting odds reflect those teams are the favorites over the teams we need to lose. So there is a path to it. I think Denver has played above their skis so far. I expect some losses to happen when you look at their schedule. That said, yeah, tiebreakers are a problem for the Jets when it comes to Denver, when it comes to Pittsburgh, which is why that game against Indy is going to be monstrous for tiebreaker implications going forward. And it's why the Jets basically need to win all their remaining AFC games down the stretch. If you're going to have a loss during this 8-game stretch and go 7-1 over it, you hope it's to Seattle or the Rams and they win all the other AFC games because they just need to have as good of a conference record as possible for tiebreaker purposes.
And I also think our schedule is less favorable as we think. Like the Cardinals are better than what we all thought. The Rams are playing better football now. The Seahawks are, I expect them to be able to beat the Seahawks, but like we lost to the Patriots, Jake. So like everyone is like, oh, the schedule is easy. We're going to be favored. I mean, we're favored by 7.5 against the Patriots and lost. Like that's why in my brain, I'm just broken. So I don't know if you ever used this simulator, Jake, but I sent you the link in the private chat. I love using NFL.com's playoff picture because it gives you the playoff picture for the AFC. It gives you the playoff picture for the NFC, and it gives you like playoff probability, like percentages. So as of right now, you see the teams that are on the bubble. The Jets have a 28% playoff probability right now. And then as you get closer to the week, it'll give you a probability if the Jets win, what would it be? If they lose, what it would be? So it's a good simulator that they use on the NFL website.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
28% chance.
It's amazing, man. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the show live right now, we're talking with Richie from Jets Media. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support from the Asmaniacs. Speaking of support for the Asmaniacs, in the description for the video, I have the GoFundMe linked for Bill Sprague's lovely wife, Judy, who's going through a very tough time right now. So if you want to support their fundraising efforts, please do so. Any contribution is not too small to make an impact here. So support William Sprague and his wife. William is such a big supporter of my channel and such a huge Jet fan. So anything you could donate would mean a lot to him and his family. So the GoFundMe is linked in the description if you want to support William and his wife. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll take some calls coming up here. Super chat from Jaro, who writes in, Jake and Richie, you guys are the best. Hey, we still need a run stuffer badly. Is there anybody available out there you can envision? Well, I saw the Saints fire Dennis Allen this morning. If Nathan Shepard is available, I'd bring him back as a DT run stuffer type because you're going to need to just find someone that could stop the run that continues to be a glaring issue for this defense.
Yeah, that Shepard is a guy that was good. Do you think the Jets are going to be active before Tuesday, Jake? Do you see them making I don't see them making a splash. But like now that our offensive line's a little banged up, offensive line's hard to trade for. But do you see them making a move? Or now that Lazard's hurt, we're probably going to keep Mike Williams. Do you see Mike Williams still getting traded? Like where are you at with that?
I would keep Mike Williams. I hope they keep Mike Williams because you mentioned it. Lazard's out for at least another 3 games. But I don't know what they're really going to do other than maybe adding a run stuffer defensive tackle. I'm with you. I think the big splash was already made. It was Devontae and then getting Reddick, obviously, in the building. And give credit to Reddick. He was very good on Thursday. They're going to need him to have a monster game against his old team on Sunday. But I'm kind of with you, Richie. I don't really see that big move the Jets are going to make between now and this deadline tomorrow.
Yeah, we made our big move, man. He's here. Number 17's in the building. And Rome wasn't built in a day, according to Devontae. But hey, I'll say this. There's not a lot of room for getting on the same page anymore. You guys had a game and a half to get on the same page, and then they got on the same page, Jake, in that second half against the Texans. Now we need them to be on the same page from here on out.
JR Jet in the house. I'm with Fireman Ed. One play, one drive, one quarter, one game at a time. Focus on execution play, complimentary football like the second half versus the Texans. Jet up. Let's get to the playoffs, baby.
Playoffs?
Playoffs! Jake, isn't it awesome, though, I will say, that Garrett Wilson, I would say, was, you can use the word, a budding star, a budding superstar. And I think Thursday, you can remove the budding now. I think that was his star night. That was his moment where everybody knew he was a good football player, like include not just Jets fans, like NFL media, NFL fans. They knew Garrett Wilson's good. But that night was the birth of a star. Like, I think now people are going to look at Garrett Wilson as like, yeah, he is one of the best receivers in football, because this is a guy that Jets fans have been hyping up to be the guy. And now you look at the numbers, Jake. He's up at the top of the league by every metric. And you do not make this play if you're not one of the best.
100%. I mean, the talk with Garrett was like, we knew his potential as a Jet fan watching him, but he hadn't had the quarterback. Now the rest of the league knows Garrett Wilson's not just a very good football player. He's a legit star receiver in this league. He's first in the NFL in receptions. He's third in yards. He's tied for seventh in touchdowns. I mean, Garrett Wilson is a superstar wide receiver in this league.
I know, and it's beautiful, because I really feel like he was on the verge of being that, and then he needed a night like Thursday for the whole world to like watch, be like, wow. Everyone's like, okay, he's that guy. And now we got our own Odell Beckham Jr. catch to talk about for a long, long time. I love it.
And by the way, with all due respect to Devontae Smith, who had a great catch yesterday, anyone trying to say that catch is anywhere near as good as what Garrett did, come on now. I mean, give credit to Devontae. It's an awesome catch. But come on, man. What Garrett Wilson did Thursday night, that's one of the best catches I'll probably ever see in my lifetime. I could say I was lucky enough to be in the building for last year's catch of the year from Garrett, week 1 against Buffalo. And then Thursday night, I mean, what else can you say? It's one of the great catches of all time.
Dude, he literally replicated the Jordan logo. Like, I don't even know how he did that. Like, if there was one player I had the most confidence to be a star on this team out of, like, the core of Sauce, Garrett, Breece, like, on this Jets team, Garrett Wilson is always my favorite. And I, like, just been waiting for him to just go nuclear. I drafted him so high in fantasy this year, Jake, in the first round, and all my friends were clowning me. Now look what he's doing, baby. Let's go, Garrett. We love you, man. G5.
Well,
make him a Jet for life.
Amen. And I'll tell you what, speaking of fantasy, I drafted this guy 3rd overall in my league, and I thank
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Why don't you tell us what the hell did this happen? Did you just
Joe's
walk
Pizza.
into Joe's Pizza and he was there? Or?
Yeah, I mean, look, Breece Hall's got good taste in pizza, man. I mean, Joe's Pizza in the West Village. Does it get better than that?
Like, did you just walk out of the pizzeria and he was there, or like?
No, he actually walked in. I think he was with his brother, and I happened to be wearing a Jet hat. I just pointed out my Jet hat and gave him that look, and he smiled. And then I didn't want to blow up his spot, right? So Joe's is cash only. So he was by the ATM. He goes, cash only? I'm like, cash only. And then he goes in there, he gets his pizza. And then when he came out, I said hello. We talked real quick. Great dude. Great dude. Let's just say maybe we'll have a Breece Hall appearance on the Jake Asman show in the near future.
Yeah. You always got to plant the seed when you meet those Jets, right?
No doubt. You know how. I mean, Richie, you're better at that than anyone, man. You got Joe Douglas on the program over the summer.
I tried. Tried to get him on.
Why do we have such a hard time running the ball? I think they've run the ball better of late. I think part of the problem is sometimes, especially at the beginning of the year, the play calling wasn't conducive for what the Jets do well with Breece, and we're starting to see more, different play calls to kind of get them in space. Also, go watch the All-22. We'll do some of this later with Fialco. You know, I had a great game blocking Devontae on some of the runs they were setting up with Breece. Devontae was out there setting good blocks. I expect this running game to get better moving forward. And obviously, it needs to continue to stay consistent, because that's how you can maximize what Rodgers does as well as anyone still, the play action pass.
Also, having Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson is opening up Breece Hall, because now defenses, what they used to do, Jake, before the addition of Devontae, stack the box, bracket Garrett Wilson, and that's how you shut down this offense. Now you can't stack the box and bracket Garrett, because now you have Devontae Adams, one-on-one. So there's so many weapons now that opens up this Jets offense from a run game perspective. Everybody was like, oh, the addition to Devontae is going to open up Garrett Wilson. It's also going to open up Breece Hall, and we saw that in 2 weeks now.
100%. Super chat here from Tyrone, who called the radio show yesterday. Thank you, Tyrone. If Hassan and McDonald become a great duo and help us get wins, we need to re-sign Hassan for another year. Look, we'll see it. We'll see how it plays out. If Reddick keeps having games like what he had on Thursday, then yeah, there's a legit conversation for that because Jermaine Johnson is going to be coming off an Achilles next year, and who knows, how close to what he was he'll be at the start of next year. So I'll worry about that in the offseason. I hope Asman keeps balling, and we actually want to keep him after all this drama, from the offseason through training camp through the start of the year.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Jake. Son Reddick may be one of my least Jets ever. He needs to earn a lot from me before I can start saying I want him long-term or anything.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that just yet. Triangle in the house. Wins cause amnesia. Let's not forget about our big issues. I think we've covered what the big issues are. The Jets have an inability, seemingly, to win multiple games in a row in the Robert Saleh era. They've had big wins before, and then they come out flat. And that's what I'm looking to see. I think we'll get a pretty good idea how this game's going to go on Sunday based on how the first quarter goes for the Jets.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that the running game is going to be the biggest thing I'm worried about against Arizona, stopping them. But at the end of the day, we as an offense, let's go win the game on offense, Jake. Let's go score 30 points.
All right.
How about that?
They have the talent to do it. That should be the goal. William, Super Chat. I was at Gillette last Sunday. It was tough at the end, and then I had to listen to chants of Yankees suck as I crawled out of the building. We are still alive, though. JETS, 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 LFJ. Look, for at least a couple more days here, there is still some hope. If you want real hope, go beat Arizona, come home, winnable game against Indianapolis on Sunday night. You get the 5 and 6 at the bye. Some of these things I talked about with the other AFC teams goes your way, which is likely. You're right there in the mix for the stretch run with a favorable schedule down the stretch.
I agree, man. I agree. I cannot believe still to this day the Jets lost to the Patriots. I don't want to keep bringing it up. I'm sorry, Jake. I don't want to keep bringing that up.
Brutal, man. Brutal. Jet Life, Jake and Richie, love what y'all boys do. Thank you, Jet Life.
Thank you, Jet Life. Appreciate that, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, AD Pugnant in the house. Got a chance to hang out with AD at the Asmaniac meetup for the group buy, the tailgate, the whole thing on Thursday night. AD, thank you for your service. This is for you.
Money, 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 money.
All right, here we go. 5 names are now members. Relentless, SJC, Austin Davidal, Adrian Argnani, James Eubanks, and Joseph, all receiving channel memberships. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Comments, questions, super chats. We're talking with Richie from Jets Media. We are presented today by Mando deodorant, folks. I've met a lot of you, and unfortunately, some of you smell. Some of you could use some Mando deodorant right now. Use promo code Asman by heading over to shopmando.com. All the info is in the description if you're interested, and take advantage of a discount at Mando's on Mando's starter pack, which includes deodorants, gels, soap, you name it. Mando has it. Get $5 off right now their starter pack with code Asman at shopmando.com. If you need more info about Mando, listen up.
Here we go. Introducing Lumi for men, and we named him Mando. The whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to block odor all day and controls odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, between your butt cheeks. So here's the odor controlling math. 12 hours after a shower with soap, the average armpit and nether region had an odor score of 8 and 5 out of 10. 12 hours after a shower with soap and applying Mando, those odor scores were 0. How do you like them apples?
How do you like them apples, baby? Mando, baby. Shopmando.com. Check it out. Take advantage of their various forms of deodorant, whether you like the spray, you like the cream, you like the traditional stick deodorant. They have it all. New customers, once again, get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack with code Asman at shopmando.com. Shout out to Mando for being a part of our program. All right, let's open up the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Before we do that, though, I'm just seeing this from Coach James. It's raining memberships, baby. A 5 spot of memberships. Hit it, Charles Gorman.
Excuse me.
Yeah, baby. 5 more names. Oh, I was so excited to play that when that was sent to me. F1 Esports BR.
Was that on his show or yours?
That was on his show. That was on the Gorman program. NY Jets superfan, Mark Friero, Dodgy Hamstring, all receiving a channel membership. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Austrian Jet fan says, hope they still give Gadget Corley plays. He fast. I'd like to see the Jets get Corley involved early on Sunday, so maybe he could shake off the stench of that debacle on Thursday. Maybe Corley could use some Mando deodorant as well. But Honestly, get Corley a touch early. Let him forget about it. That's maybe not the worst idea in the world.
No, I agree, man. I really hope that Corley play, Jets fans don't just bury the kid and say, cut him. He's trash. Like he showed off the flash. Why we're excited about him. You know, that's the type of plays when we drafted him we wanted. Now, he had a brain fart, had a rookie mistake. Inexcusable. Jeff Ulbrich ripped him in the media, something Solid never did, right? So I think that they got to go back to him and allow him a chance to improve, especially with Lazard hurt. Malachi Corley is a weapon, Jake. He's a weapon. He's got speed. He can break tackles. And Jets fans are like, where's Corley? And when he got that touchdown, I mean, every Jets fan was like screaming, going nuts. Like, we finally saw our rookie make a play. And then for that to happen the way that it did, you couldn't have like scripted it worse, Jake. That's the most Jet experience you can ever have. So let's hope that he can take advantage of that. The Jets got to feed him, man, because he's a weapon. He's a weapon. Let him learn from it.
And really, the big thing is, like, if they had lost that game, that would be like the butt fumble, the fake spike. It'd be like another one of these like most embarrassing plays that everyone's talking about in Jet history. Or
Garrett Wilson's like, I got you, Malachi. I'm gonna make people forget that and remember this play of this game.
And like just the fact they won is like the total opposite of like the Jet karma. So maybe it is starting to change. The other thing that happened in this game Thursday, Richie, that I'm like, maybe something is happening here. Is they hit a post, they hit an upright on an extra point, and it doinked in, not out. I mean, maybe that's another sign. Things maybe, just maybe, could change.
They doinked
the Jets go on a run.
They doinked it in. Greg Zuerlein has an injury, Jake. He's hurt. So now we have a new kicker in.
That is right.
He's hurt.
Riley Patterson, because Greg Zuerlein is hurt.
I thought that was hilarious. Put him on IR. Yeah, all right. Go
Coach James in the house.
Playoffs?
I am like Richie, still trying to get over the loss to the Patriots. We need to move on, and the Jets need to shake it off and start winning and stop the undisciplined issue of penalties. Well, seemingly the Jets have shaken it off because they won on Thursday. We as fans will be scarred by it because it could end up being the reason why this team's out of the playoffs. But look, you got as fun as that second half on Thursday was, it means nothing if they can't go into Arizona. And yeah, the Cardinals are a solid football team. They are a 1.5 favorite in the game on Sunday. It doesn't matter. You got to go out there and get it done.
It's serious, man. That's why it's like not only the loss of the Patriots, Jake, but that Broncos loss. Like, those are the two games that are going to haunt us. So do you know what the Jets need to do? They need to make up for it. That's what the reality is. You make some mistakes. You crumble games that you're supposed to win. You got to make up for it. We lost 5 straight. The Jets got to win 5 straight, and we're 7-6. That's how I look at it. I don't care about any other team losing this, losing that. All those will help in the long run, but you got to make up for those 5 straight L's with 5 straight wins.
Austrian Jet fan says it's Doink Patterson. Hey, as long as it goes in, I don't care how.
Oh, dude, doink them all in. I'll be happy.
Michael says JBC, safety, size, experience can cover pass to run versus Arizona. I don't know if he'll play a big role. It seems like they like what they have in, Isaiah Oliver playing that safety role with Jalen Mills, who's actually been a nice find.
I was about to say, I've been very impressed with Jalen Mills. I mean, he's been playing like the best safety we've had in years in like limited.
Right.
I mean, he's not perfect. He had a missed tackle, but I love the energy he brings, the veteran savviness. I mean, Green Goblin. It feels like he was destined to be a Jet. He's got green hair. Like, this guy's a Jet in like 2 weeks. Like, it feels like he's been here for years.
I love it. Robert in the house. How far along is Lazard's return? Well, he's on IR, so he's had a minimum of 4 games. He just played the first game on IR, which is a weird injury, right? Because Lazard missed a game already, and then they put him on IR. So that was that whole thing was odd, Yeah,
that was a little mismanaged. I guess they undervalued the impact of the injury. I don't remember him getting hurt, that chest injury. And it's kind of sad because Lazard's been good. He's also been bad. But, he's a guy that you can rely on, Rodgers, to be there in the right spots. It doesn't matter if he's going to catch the ball or not. So, but that's why we got Mike Williams.
Hopefully Mike Williams can have a big impact going forward here. Just do something, man. I mean, he had a chance on that one play. Rodgers maybe overthrew him slightly on that go ball down the sideline. He did have a nice catch on a 3rd down to move the chains on Thursday, but he really has not had the impact I think many of us were expecting by now.
And let's be honest, as much as, Lazard, Mike Williams, Corley, like the Jets arguably have one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL. Like, run the freaking offense through them. Like, in that Patriots game, Jake, this is where I thought the offense was about to unlock. It was Gonzalez was shadowing Devontae Adams, so Rodgers had back-to-back receptions to Garrett Wilson. And then what happened? Christian Gonzalez matched up on Garrett. And then what happened on that play, Jake? Rodgers goes to Devontae Adams. And I thought that was the moment, like, no one's guarding us. Yeah, you put your number one on whichever number one corner you put on our receiver, the other one's going to get open. And then I thought that was when this offense is going to click. And they still have that opportunity moving forward where you just got to pick your poison. Which one you double teaming? Whoever you double team, we're going after that guy. That's what they got to do, man. They got the best number one or number two in the league, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for your calls. William is first up today. What's up, William?
Hey, I would just like to say thanks again for letting me on. I called you probably like 2 weeks ago. We got disconnected, neither here nor there. I'm just going to rehash something real quick. I want to give two takes. One is my doom and gloom, and I'm not trying to be a dead horse, but I just gave that $5 chat or $10 chat or whatever about the Gillette Stadium thing. I was there in the nosebleeds with Patriot fans, and it was tough, man. I came on Boy Green's show on the Monday afterwards, but I still feel like I should say it again here. I had a Patriot fan in the back of my ear like, Aaron Rodgers, he's an old man. Is that my father? Is that my father out here playing? You just drove all the way out here for this? I'm from Connecticut, you know what I mean? But my family's from Elizabeth, New Jersey. I was born in New York. I live in Connecticut now. I'm a Jets fan. My father's a Pats fan. That's the dynamic. So that was the doom and gloom. It was very brutal hearing Yankees suck after, I just with my head down leaving. But my other positive take is this. There was a couple things I noticed about the game. One with Devontae Adams. There was two catches. That touchdown catch, he cooked that dude off the line. And as Rodgers said, like, he's like the best release in football. So I was really, really hyped. I just liked his effort on that first one. He smoked one. Then when he was in line up on the left, he smoked one dude with a shimmy. The guy fell. He catches the ball. He gives the extra effort. He gets cracked. His head cracked, comes back in the game. And also with Hassan Reddick, I feel like he brought a dynamic presence to their defensive line. I mean, they had 8 sacks. Obviously Reddick only had one or a half of one or whatever, but I still feel like the presence of these players, additionally brought on, these guys know how to win. So I just feel encouraged by that. It's kind of like we still got to win out the season. They should approach it like we got to win out. I don't think they will. I'm worried about the Arizona game. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, that to me is going to be one of the toughest games left on the schedule, William. I'm sorry you had to go to that game and be miserable, but at least they won Thursday to give you some hope going forward. Exactly. I mean, Richie, I think this Cardinals game is going to be so tough, man. Like, I don't have a whole lot of faith in this Jets team based on what we've seen this year. I hope they prove me wrong because I just think West Coast game, awful win, the history of this team with more time, more days to prepare. Like, in theory, this should be a game that, like, okay, like, you could see the Jets winning. And, like, I guess I could, but I also could see them coming out flat, being down 10-0 after one, staging a fake comeback and losing 23-20. Like, I could very easily see that being the case.
Yeah, I was actually higher on this Cardinals team before the season started than most. Like, I think Kyler Murray is proving to be a quarterback that he's going to drive us nuts. Jets fans, prepare yourself. There's going to be plays. It's going to be 3rd and 7, and this guy's just going to somehow like extend the play, and it's going to drive us nuts. Okay, that's number one. Do you know who needs to have the best game of his season on Sunday, Jake? Because he's been pretty bad for his standards. That's Sauce Gardner against Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is an absolute budding superstar. Sauce has been very underwhelming, not playing like the all-pro that we became, used to. And he needs to have a game, bro. DJ Reed's balling out. Carter's balling out. Sauce is not. He needs to have a bounce-back game and get a pick, maybe. Is that too much to ask for an interception? Like, come on.
I know. Look, Sauce I don't think is 100% healthy, but they need more from him regardless. They need more. I think it's a confidence thing as well. They're going to need him to play better. Hopefully the extra rest here will be good for him because you're right. If you want to win this game, stopping the run's going to be the biggest thing, but you also need Sauce to keep Marvin Harrison Jr. in check. Yeah,
and not hold him down the field. And when Kyler Murray is going to be extending plays, the corners are going to have to cover for a long time. That's what makes mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray so dangerous as a defense. The pass rush can get there, but Kyler Murray can escape and buy like 5 or 7 seconds, and that's up to the secondary to hold up in the back end and not hold and not get any penalties and try to not prevent a little big explosive play down the field like Kyler Murray's done.
Michelle Richmond writes in, Asman, you stink. You need Mando. Yeah, buddy. That's why they're a sponsor, man. I mean, what's your excuse? You stink all the time.
F you. F you. F you too.
How about Michael Clemens, by the way, with 2 sacks and no dumb penalties on Thursday?
Yeah, Clemens. When he made that play, I was like, wow, every single Jets fan on the world is just like, I don't even know. Are they happy? Are they I mean, obviously, we're happy. We want these players to play well, but Clemens is a guy that every Jets fan cannot stand.
Austrian Jet fan says, Kyler, Connor, MHJ, McBride, lock them down and win. Yeah, easier said than done. They're a good team.
I really think this game is going to come down to our offense. Like, our defense, we have to realize, let's be honest, let's be realistic. We're not going to lock down the Cardinals. The goal as a defense is to limit them.
And force turnovers, too.
Yeah, force turnovers and limit them, not let them go off on us. And we should win this game on offense, Jake. Is it too much to ask for our offense to score 25 plus? 20, like, go out there and score points as an offense and look like an offense that is, like, if we can put the second half against the Texans into a 4 quarters worth of football. I mean, they had 4 possessions, Jake, on offense. They scored 3 touchdowns. In the 4th one, they were in victory formation against the Texans. So, let's go. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Another reminder, if you haven't already, join the Patreon, baby. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. I'll tell you what, I have not sent Gator the list of new Patreon names just yet for the month of November. I took the weekend off. I had a wedding in Florida. So we'll give everyone till the end of today to join the Patreon if you want your name added to the intro for the month of November. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to the Hamburger, who's up next. What's up, Hamburger?
What's up, Jake? What's up, Richie? Happy
What's up,
Football
man?
Monday. What a great weekend this was, huh? I got out. I got to a car show. I got to, enjoy some time with the kids. It was nice not having any stress over the weekend.
How about that? A nice change.
Yeah, it was nice. Good mood. Everybody was happy. I'm not bought in on the team yet. Listen, I always hope for wins. I love the Jets. I always hope they win, but we need to see consistency. I mean, we can't take those 5 losses and what we've seen in those 5 losses and just throw them out the window and forget that it ever existed, especially with the way that they played. I mean, I did see a lot of good things off the defensive line this week against the Texans. They looked much better. They contained much better. They still let up a lot of yards running. But, Will McDonald, Hassan Reddick, they both look really good. Even Quinton Williams looked much better. Clemens looked better. I mean, if we can put this together and at least be a little more consistent, we'll pump out some more wins. But I don't see it going forward. It's going to be such a tough test to try to pull off 8 wins or even 7, especially with the dysfunction that the team had. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping for a win this weekend, but
you need Prime Rodgers on Sunday because a
we
great quarterback.
I was watching some of the videos from the New England game. It was awesome. Watching him move around. We want to see a little of that, man. I mean, he's got to be able to be mobile in the pocket. It creates so much space in the interior for the receivers to get out there and get the ball. What you got there?
Pepper.
A little cayenne pepper, man. All right.
Listen, my wife drinks it every night, man. She swears by it.
Actually?
She swears by it. Yeah, she drinks it every night.
How much you put in the water? Walk me through it.
She does. I think she does like a regular half a glass of water. She puts a teaspoon of cayenne. She puts some. I believe she puts turmeric and ginger. She just yelled out to me. Turmeric and ginger. So
yeah,
listen,
I drank that and actually felt amazing. Like I actually was like, wait, this is.
All right, I put up what I think is about a teaspoon in here.
Yeah, make sure you stir it up. Otherwise, you're going to get a big mouthful of cayenne.
I forgot to bring a spoon stir, so we're using a pen cap. Here we go.
There you go.
All right.
Listen, I got my wind beard going, so I haven't shaved since they won. So let's see how long this can go.
I like that. Well, they keep winning, Hamburger. You're not shaving.
No, I won't. I won't shave. But
Through
another thing, my hair. If we make the playoffs, do I cut the hair, or do we keep it going for good luck?
Ooh,
keep it going, man.
Let it ride, man.
Let it ride.
Let it ride.
My wife likes it. My mother-in-law hates my hair. She can't wait for me to cut it.
All right, folks. I was going to do this later in the week, but it's time. Here we go.
Cheers.
To a 7-1 stretch.
Let's do it. Oh, you got to pound it. You got to get a sip of it. It ain't good.
Pound it. Drink that. Oh, boy.
There we go. Get the bottom.
Cayenne pepper and water.
There it comes.
Woo!
Ah!
There you go. You look healthy already, man.
Wow. Green 19. Green 19.
We're gonna get hot. Full 58.
Hey, look, I want something that Neil said. I guess. Hey, Neil, this is for you. Listen, Neil, I'm not a negative person, Neil. I love that you're so positive. It's just I can't anymore. I have to see what I see now. I can't be a hopeless dreamer. So, but trust me, dude, I love the way that you are such a positive guy. Yeah. So, but listen, you guys have a great Monday. I appreciate you having me on. Always great.
Yeah, baby. And here comes Neil.
Jets.
There he is, Neil. Yeah.
Hamburger, I know you're a big fan, dude. You'll come around. I want you to look like Jesus Christ by the end of the season. That's what I want. Long beard, long hair. We're going to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna have to invest in a lot more just for men.
Different person. Richie, what's happening, Richie?
What's up, Neil? Great to see you, man.
Richie's my positive. He's a positive. Richie's the best positive guy. He's like reminds me of me about 30 years ago.
Neil, you didn't see my content last week because they broke me last week.
He was, you look broken, man.
I heard that shit, but you right away, you come right back.
You're right. I am back.
Look, I got the jersey, but you know what? Every jersey I have collects dust, and every player I ever got a jersey from is shit. So I did not get this jersey.
You gotta keep the old ones, man. You gotta keep the good players.
Mike White.
So I won't change the jersey from Mike White because
Neil,
I know full Zach Wilson, he'll drop every pass.
Neil, I had taken my kid to the Chicago Bears and Jets game when it rained, where Mike White came in and threw all those touchdowns.
Oh, I was at that game.
The very next day, Mike White was upstate signing jerseys. So I was like, do I do it? So I called in upstate. I called up to the place where it had it, and I had one shipped to me. And I have it sitting on my speaker signed by Mike White. And the very next week, he broke like 3 ribs. And then that was it. That was the end of Mike White.
I hate committing to players on a jersey because it just never ends good.
Yeah, I know. Every quarterback jersey is collecting dust.
I had a Sanchez. You know, I put that in memory of my a son. I had a son pass away 13 years ago next month. So he had a Sanchez jersey, and I hang that one up, and he watches the game with me, you know, when I watch it on TV here. So he was a big Jet fan, big kid. Yeah. Big kid. My oldest son, he was a monster. And, you know, I used to have to go there when I took him and my wrestler's son to some grim games when we used to really suck. Oh, yeah. I had to worry about getting to my car without them beating the shit out of 4 people on the way to back to the car. They were like trying to pick fights with 18 different. I was like this. I was trying to break fights up the whole time. But anyway, back to positive. Mills is playing great. I'm going to tell you something. BJF put him in his top 20 MVP Jets right now, Mills. He looks amazing. He looks really good. Yeah, he puts his head in there and he wants to tackle, man.
Yeah, he can tackle. You know, that's something that we need.
Adams is a rapper and he's a good tackler, but this guy Mills, he comes at you like a torpedo, and that's what you really want. You want a guy that's a torpedo. And you know, are we getting back? How bad is what's his name? 36, the other safety. How bad is
Chuck Clark?
No, Clark.
I think he should be designated to come back from IR after this week.
I think that might get AVT back too this week. By the way,
that would be huge.
That would be huge.
Yeah, that would be really.
The reason why I love Jalen Mills
until after the bye. What do you think, Rip?
Lazard?
Probably. I mean,
Chuck Clark.
Chuck Clark. He was on IR. I think this is his last week. I'm sure they're going to open up his window and then probably wait till after the bye. My favorite thing about Jalen Mills is his savvy. Like, he's a vet, right? Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a savvy player. He just feel like he brings that energy, that juice. Like, the fact that he had no training camp with this team, he just signed off the street. And I feel like he's playing the best safety play we've had in years. His nickname is the Green Goblin. Tell me he's not destined to be a Jet.
I love that kid. I like that kid a lot. You know, I like Oliver too. I'll tell you, Isaiah Oliver.
Yeah, he made some plays.
Good too.
He made some plays.
He got called for a couple crappy calls, and you know, he gets a lot of dumb breaks. But he's a big guy, and he could cover well. and you need big guys in the secondary. You know, you can't have smaller guys back there. You know, I see every time I turn Tampa Bay on, they're on tonight. And go look at our guy Whitehead. Go see him miss a few tackles. Those guys run him over down the field. He's a waste.
I am absolutely tired of watching guys. They look like mannequins with no arms jumping at these guys and not tackling and bouncing off. It's really tough to watch sometimes. And even Quincy sometimes. Quincy's fallen over his face lately. He hasn't been.
I know.
He hasn't
We really
been
miss.
great
I got to
lately.
tell you something. C.J. Mosley is our run stopper. You know, we don't really have that middle of the guy line run stopper. But, you know, when C.J. Mosley makes contact with an offensive player, he goes down.
He goes down.
Tackle. But he's tough in coverage. Is C.J. coming back this week or next week? What's the story with him?
Neil, I don't know if you're going to see C.J. Mosley again. He's dealing with a neck injury.
Neck injury, bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's tough, especially as you're an older player. That's tougher to come back from.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, you're just going to need to rely on Quincy, and I think Sherwood had a good game on Thursday, watching it back. So
Sherwood's been playing great. How about Quit? Can we get Quentin Jefferson? I know, Jake, we talked about that. You talked about it a lot. And Quentin Jefferson would be a great add-on.
Yeah, well, because he's barely playing for the Browns right now. So if they're going to go full fire sale, I'd look into. By the way, how great was Jamus Winston yesterday, Gary? I mean that.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of Gary when I saw.
What do you have? 4 interceptions or 5? Every time I look at the TV, he was throwing an interception.
That's his MO. We know that about him.
Anyway.
Yeah, I want to see a little pony package Sunday. I want to see a little more Braylon Allen. I would even want to put Corley in the pony package, and you could do. You know, we have to do a little more imaginative plays here. You know, the next couple of weeks and change it up a little bit.
And you know what's sad, Neil? They finally had an imaginative play, and it worked just for him to drop the ball at the 1 yard line. Like that play call was beautiful. You look at it was a fake to the left, a beautiful end around. The blocking was great. It was beautifully executed. And the guy drops it at the 1 yard line. So
and,
I agree.
You know what's weird? They've been trying to do a lot more screen passes this year, but Jesus, they set up the screen so horribly. They give it away every time. They can't get a good screen. They were doing it well in the first couple of games, and I was excited about the quarterback. The wide receiver screens we stopped doing. We stopped. That's where Mike Williams could be a benefit. You know what I did see him use last week? Ball behind the line of scrimmage, he breaks one tackle, he could take off. Something
they used last week that worked out really well, and I saw was they used the draw, just the old school draw, and we could get like 10, 15 yards out of that, right up the gut. I mean, and that Braylon Allen last week, he doesn't get a lot of yardage, but he wears the hell out of the defensive line. He hits so hard, even if it's only for 3 or 4 yards. He wears them down, and that's what you need. They don't want to get hit like that all game.
And I think the reason why the draws are working now is now there's an actual threat of throwing the football with Devontae. Correct. You need to have a threat to run to throw the ball with Devontae and Garrett, and now defenses are worried about the pass so much that frees up the draw. I agree.
Yeah. And listen, last week, the beginning of last week, like really 2 or 3 separate plays really killed that first half. If Devontae makes those 2 catches, if he makes that one catch and Aaron makes that throw going down the sidelines, that whole entire game would have been different.
Yeah. Plus, if Corley wasn't, dumb, that's another touchdown too. So they as bad as they were in the first half, there were some signs looking back on it that wasn't that far away from turning around. But they cannot come out flat on Sunday because then it's same old Jets. If they come out and they're down 10-0 in the first quarter, like we've seen how many times after this team would get a big win that we're not expecting. Oh, is this the turning point? No. Then they lose to 30-0 to the Dolphins last year after they beat Houston in the same spot, off a 5-game losing streak.
They have to show us something this week. They have to show us consistency.
I'll say this. For at least this week, gentlemen, we're back.
Let's get brick up.
Woo! We're at least back.
We are at least back.
Till kickoff on Sunday. By the way, in the post-game speech that Obert gave to the team, hat was flipped backwards. I need that on game day, man. I need Coach Brick to go back to what got him to be the interim head coach in the first place.
Did he
flip
it
it backwards
do that as a DC?
He would always have the hat backwards, but now it's been frontward facing as the head coach.
No, we need you as that backwards hat. Backwards hat. Injury update or injury question, Jake. You said AVT could be returning. What's the update on John Simpson?
John,
what did he even go down with?
He came back in the game, if I remember, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in and out, but like, what was it? I don't even know if I
don't remember what it was. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, though. Olu was pretty good at guard, all things considered. Considering Joe Tippmann was telling him what he had to do on each play, and he's never played guard for any play in his life.
Dude. And then Max Mitchell at left guard. I mean, the fact that we have 2 tackles playing guard in the game and we still win. I mean, I don't care what injuries Houston has. That's insane.
Hopefully they can get him back. Henny with a super chat. Defense clearly isn't what it was the last 2 years, but the offense isn't either. We have to score 27 plus in every game if we want to win. Yeah, go score
points, think that's
man.
what the mindset should be, man. I don't want to rely on our defense anymore. Like that, obviously we expect our defense to play good, but why can't our offense be reasons that we win, Jake?
Amen, man. I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams,
Breece
Hall,
like,
Garrett Wilson. Let's go.
Gosh, it's like frustrating.
Batty boy, you heard of Coach Prime to the Jets? No way.
Who is your coaching favorite, or who you want? Not who do you think it's going to be, but if Jake Asman was Woody Johnson, who are you making the call to?
Mike Vrabel for an experienced coach, or Ben Johnson. I don't think you'd take the Jet job, but you got to at least try.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are 2 options that are very. The only thing about Ben Johnson that scares me is the first-year coordinator, head coach, just scares me. Like I want someone with experience. But Ben Johnson, I mean, how can you not want that guy?
Kevin Stefanski if the Browns fire him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options. I just want a program builder. I want someone that can come in here and just like develop this team and establish a culture. We say that every year. We get a coach, but when will it happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to be joined by the head coach of the New York Jets. Coach Brick is on the line. What's up, Coach?
What's up, fellas? I got the hat on backwards. I got the memo. Howdy.
How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great after watching the Dolphins and the Patriots game. I feel good about that. How was Del Boca Vista?
It was great. It was great, Coach. Great wedding, great time. Shout out to Paige Gindy and Jeremy Kelly on their marriage. We'd love to see it.
Awesome. All right, I got a couple of thoughts on my mind. One, I've been calling up to Joe's office all weekend. I don't know where he is, but I'm telling him to extend Sherwood right now. And I'm saying,
actually.
Start that negotiation now. It's not fire sale. It's not add the run stuffer. This dude needs to be on our team for the next 2 years. Let's get it done. And then let's start talking to Mills also and figure out what it's going to take to keep him around for a little while. When we find talent like that, I want to keep him part of the defense, even if I'm not going to be here next year. Arizona. I'm getting on a plane in a couple of days, and I'm going. Not as Coach Brick, but as the fan. I think the key.
You should dress up as Coach Brick at the game. They'll put you on TV.
I will. They maybe. I'm in the front row. We'll see.
Are you behind the Jets bench?
I was for the Denver game, but I am not for this one. I'm on the opposite side of the field. Arizona. I think the key's here. It's containing Murray. I don't think there's a stopping Murray. I think you contain him. I think you got to control, if possible. I haven't quite seen that from the team this year, so I'm a little nervous about their integrity on the D-line and keeping him in there. I'm also concerned about Connor running wild on us. I think those 2 things are the run challenges that we've had this year. I think they're really good team at it. I don't know where their PFF rankings are from an offensive line standpoint, but I'd imagine it's pretty darn good, only for the fact that those guys are extending plays and running down people's throats. So I'm less concerned about the back end and Marvin Harrison. I mean, if he's going to make a couple of catches, he's the son of a Hall of Famer. He's good. I think the tight end could have some catches. I don't think it's the passing game that worries me here. I think we've got to contain that line and play a different kind of game. And if we're going to keep a spy on him, we couldn't do it for Josh Allen. So how are we going to do it for Kyler Murray, who's quicker? So those are a couple of thoughts that I had. I think that's the same hat. There we go.
Coach Brick.
Yo.
Let me ask you a question before you leave.
There you go.
Are you bricked up?
Yeah, but not like him.
Let's get bricked up.
Thank you, Coach. He really does look like Overick. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. It's like, that's the beard, man. The backwards hat.
Incredible. All right, we'll do one last call.
I did not know, though, real quick, Jake, that Sherwood was a pending free agent. And now I'm like, extend him. I mean, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, because he's your long-term starter at linebacker. He's been mentored by Mosley. It's exactly what you want to have happen, right? You draft a guy, you develop him, and now he's ready to be the starter.
100%.
One last call with Richie. I'll stay on for the rest. Let's say hello to Rob, the Jet fan. What's up, Rob?
Hey, guys.
Rob.
What's up, Rich? How are you, buddy?
Great to see you, man. I'm doing good.
Great to see you guys. Great to see you guys. I'm just calling you, Jake, to tell you that cayenne pepper really works. My dad is 95 years old. Yep. And he goes on walks with me 6-7 miles. And let me tell you, he stays with me. He swears by eating hot peppers. We took him to the doctor, and my mom was yelling, yeah, tell my husband to stop eating the hot peppers. And the doctor's like, he's 95 and he's in great health. I'm going to start eating the hot peppers. So there's something to it.
Does he have it the same way that Morstead and Rodgers have it? Like he puts it in his water, or he just actually eats hot peppers?
He just eats hot peppers. He says, be a man. You got to eat the hot peppers. Don't be a wussy. And you start yelling at you and shit. It's funny.
I'm going to have more.
So,
I'm inspired. I mean, I loved it. I'm going to put another
He has
teaspoon
his
in
own
here.
garden, Jake.
That's like my dad. My dad eats hot peppers like that all the time.
Right? There's something to it. Supposedly, it's extremely good for your circulation. Very good. Very good.
To the point,
It gets
to
the
the point
blood
where, he adds it to whatever we're eating for dinner. He's chopped up the hot peppers, put it on top.
Very good. It's really good for your circulation. I'm like, Dad, I'll stick to the supplements. I do everything supplements. Ashwagandha, I do all these supplements. But, I mean, there's something to it. But just wanted to have about 4 points real quick. I have to say.
Darker, Jake. It's a little more spicy there.
Well, Jake's going to like this stuff, man. I just wanted to say that, you know what? Like anything else, Jake, Rich, we got to take this one game at a time. We can't get ahead of ourselves. If they're going to let us down, if they're going to hurt us and lose a game, we got to take it one game at a time. Hopefully a winning streak comes soon, and we could have some hope. But I want to just take it one game at a time, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then I guess, unfortunately, we have to look to next year. That's the first point I wanted to make. The D-line, Richie, I'm happy with the 8 sacks. I still think that we need a fatty in the middle for the run. I don't know if there's anybody on the waiver wire, someone that's legit to stop the run. I don't know if Quentin Jefferson's going to get released from the Browns and we can pick him up. I mean, that would be good. Jake, you okay there?
I'm all right. Yeah.
I'm scared of you, buddy.
It's already working. My hair's red. Look at me.
Exactly. More red now. But we need somebody, another fatty in the middle there, Rich.
I agree.
I love the fact that the way Rodgers played the second half of the game, 15 of 18, 3 touchdowns. It's reminiscent of the old Rodgers. And you know what now, Jake? His season's not starting to look as bad. 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Not too bad. A little bit better than Jamus Winston. Just a tad better than Jamus. Big shout out to Gary there. Jamus hit 102 interceptions. He's got 102. 145 or 146 and 102 interceptions, which is, I was laughing my ass off. But, and then, just, Jake, I heard that Neil told you the story about the sign that time at T-Square. He told you the story at the garage. I don't know if Richie knows the story. But I left T-Square and I was enraged, Richie. And I'm
After
going
which game was this?
Excuse
Which game
me?
was this? After which game?
The second Patriot game.
Okay.
We saw it at T-Square. So me and Neil's like, come on, let's get out of here. He's pissed, and I'm pissed off. And we get into the parking garage, and I'm like, Neil, I got to hit something. I'm fucking pissed. So I'm looking around, seeing something I can hit. So all of a sudden, I see the parking garage sign, and he's right. It was with the screws in, metal screws in the cement. And I just haul back, and boom, I fucking hit it. and the whole fucking sign just collapses and falls. And I'm like, oh shit! I know they're gonna get me for vandalism here. I look at Neil. Well, Neil, look, what should I do? Neil's like, put it in the corner. Let's get the freak out of here right now.
Oh, I wish I had a video of that. That's hilarious.
Jake, I have to say, I was thinking of Alan's face when I hit that sign. I was thinking of Alan's sarcastic face and stuff, and I was like, hey! And I just saw his face just flat like a pizza, as Jake said, as Neil said. But I mean, it felt good to get a little frustration at, but hopefully
hilarious.
The results change here and we start winning these games, which I'm confident, one game at a time. Let's not get past ourselves, and just one game at a time, Richie. What do you think, buddy?
One game at a time, man. I don't even know about the Colts yet until we beat the Cardinals. I don't even know who we're versing next week, actually. Who are we versing again? I don't know, Rob. Go beat the Cardinals, and then we'll talk about it.
Exactly. How you feeling, Jake? You're quiet there. You're scaring me.
Rob, I'm feeling good, baby. Love you. Thanks for the time.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Thank you, Rob. I feel pretty good, man. I feel like I could sling it for 304 touchdowns on Sunday right now.
Woo! You got that? Like when I drank it, I felt like heat in my stomach. Like it was like hot.
Oh, I'm feeling that right now.
You feel it, right?
Oh,
like,
I feel it.
Yeah, that's what it felt like when I did
I
it.
definitely didn't need a second glass. One was enough. But
yeah, when you started chugging that and it looked a little more spicy, I think you put more spice in it. So good luck, man. Good luck. But trust me, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel energized.
Richie, all the love. Thanks for hopping on this morning. And look, good luck on the AFC East roundtable. All right.
Finally coming off a win.
At least the Jets finally have a win you could talk about.
Oh, man, for real. Much love to you, Jake. Shout out to everybody in the chat for supporting the Jake Asman Show. Hit the like button for my boy Jake. And let's go, Jets. Keep the heads high. Let's stay present. And let's go hope we can get a W on Sunday to celebrate. Peace out, folks. Love you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richie from Jets Media. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Does a great job covering the Jets. If you're a Knicks fan as well, check out Knicks Media. Richie does a good job doing some Knicks content as well. All right. Super chat here from John. What about Todd Monken? Another name I definitely would interview. Offensive guy for sure. Big fella. Morning, gentlemen. Question at the end of the day, who has a better career, Zach Wilson or Tim Tebow? Tim Tebow. I mean, if you just remove college and you talk about professional careers, Tebow won a playoff game. Zach Wilson's a third stringer right now. Tebow. I think that's crazy. Let's continue with your calls right now. V-Man's next. Hey, V-Man.
What's up?
Oh, got him.
I was waiting for my turn.
You woke up pretty quick, though. I was impressed.
You know, so, yeah, I'm just looking forward to this game. Just glad that we have a little bit of life left.
Which dog is licking you right now? Is that Linus?
Yeah. He's just going to keep on following me wherever I move, so I just going to have to ignore him.
We love Linus. Great dog.
Yeah, no, yeah. But, yeah, no. I can't believe you actually drank that pepper. Drink cayenne pepper.
I had 2 glasses of it. Look, I want to win, man. I'll do whatever it takes to see this team win some games.
I want to see this team win some games, and let's hope, we gotta hope that Thursday was a sign of things that are coming, With this team, yeah, I do worry with Kyler because we've always had a struggle with mobile quarterbacks throughout this whole defense's tenure. We've had the struggles, and then, yes, we've had the struggles of playing off with extra rest. We've had struggles like playing after getting a big win. So this is going to be a challenge. The question is, can Ulbrich get this team ready? Can they finally, clean up these mistakes? Because they're going to need to start playing a lot sharper and a lot tighter games if they want any real chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, one game at a time, man. I mean, you got to win Sunday. This team has failed how many times over the years of like, they pick up a big win, they get it going, and then they fall flat on their face. This is why you have Aaron Rodgers, though, right? Team needs to learn how to win. They got that win. Now go do it again.
I agree. Yeah. So, no.
We'll let you get back to your nap, B, man. I feel like you got to go sleep.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit tired. Right, talk to your piece.
Well, man, just know we love you and we wish you all the best.
That's the end of this V-Man call. Time for him to get back to pooping.
Man. V-Man out cold, man. He woke up pretty quick though. That was a big time recovery for V-Man. Nothing like the first time he fell asleep on the air. Nothing was crazier than that. You know, for those of you who follow Richie's content, he obviously covers the Jets, and he's a part of the AFC East roundtable with a Patriot content creator, a Bills content creator, and a Dolphins content creator. That guy's name is TD. And, well, let's just say TD's been going through it.
Dolphin fans, are you really feeling like this team can compete with the Jets this year? Our only hope with the Jets is hoping Aaron Rodgers is for some reason done lost it. The Jets are loaded. They don't have a single hole on the entire roster now. A single hole. They just like, hey, we having fun. We getting depth for the future. Like, they're building for the future with a roster that's complete, with no hole. And they already got a little depth. Y'all the future. Y'all just gonna have to sit back and chill.
So that was the original TD Fins Talk in hell. How about the encore? Yesterday was tough for the Dolphin fan. I feel terrible for them. Or who could forget the time Tua got hurt this year?
The Dolphins are done. Their season is over. Tua, another concussion. You know why? You need an offensive line, you moron! And then there's Mike McDaniel. He has no balls. He has no brains. He is an overrated piece of shit. The worst coach in the league. This team is pathetic, putrid, heartless, gutless, ballless, everything else.
Incredible. More of your calls right now. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in and subscribe to the channel. By the way, I can't say it enough. 40,000 subscribers. We hit that during the postgame show after the Jet win on Thursday. Thank you to everyone who supports this show. Couldn't do it without you. Only 2 games this month for the Jets. So I need all the support we can get, baby. We got the best community in all of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I'm pronouncing this correct here. Daryan is up next on the show. Did I get that right? Did I come close?
Yes, you did, Jake. How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I was so done with the Jets after that Patriot loss. I was so done. I'm just tired. But now I'm re-energized and I'm ready to focus.
One game at a time, right? I mean, they're going to do it. I will not be sucked in yet. I need to see them beat Arizona on Sunday.
Yep. I am so, but yeah, I have to see it too. Talk to me when they're 6-6. Then we'll talk.
Even 5-6, I'll start to be like, okay, then you have the bye to get healthy. Can you beat Seattle after the bye? That's a winnable game at home.
6-6. Yeah. And when we'll see it. When they're 6-6, we'll talk. They have to beat the Cardinals. They have to beat the who else they have to beat? Yeah, the Colts.
Next 3 are Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks.
Yep. And if they beat those 3, then I have a good chance. But I'm still not over the fact they lost the Patriots, man. I cannot believe they lost that team.
It's as big of a disgrace as any game they've played the last 14 years.
You know how pissed off by the way, I'm Bijan's brother, by the way. I just let you know.
Oh, okay. Well, Bijan is the GOAT, man.
Yeah, he is. That was a disgrace, man. I cannot believe they lost that game.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I feel like as this year plays out, we might be lamenting that game as the reason why they're not a playoff team at the end of the day.
Yeah, how do you lose the Patriots? How do you lose to that team? Oh my God.
Are you on the therapy couch right now?
No, I'm on the actually, this is my dorm. I have to go to work in 2 hours.
Love it.
So, So it was nice meeting you, Jake.
You too, man. I appreciate you calling in. Good call. Shout out to you and your brother Bijan. Big parts of the Asmaniac community. For those who don't know who Bijan is the guy that has recreated the Sunday Night Football theme, Monday Night Football theme, and the NFL on CBS theme.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Jets on CBS this week, so we'll play that a bunch on the show, I'm sure. Black Gypsy's next up on the show today. What's up, Black Gypsy?
What's up, Jake? Congratulations on hitting 40,000.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's crazy to know that there are that many Jet fans and that many Jet fans on YouTube that seek out content. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So, in watching last week's game, I was like, all right, cool. We're doing something. But the one thing that's we talked about it before. Our team sucks against quarterbacks that run, and we never put a spy. We never ever use a spy. I do not know why we don't use a spy.
They did against Levis in week 2. McDonald did it on a couple of plays I saw. They've done it a couple of times. They did it against Bo Nix. They shut him down. They just couldn't score that day offensively. Hopefully they're ready this week for Kyler. It's a different challenge than some of the guys they faced.
He's going to be a problem running around because passing wise, he's going to have issues passing the ball. The thing that I'm worried about, and the last 3 weeks I've seen it, Sauce does not look right.
He doesn't look healthy.
He does not look right, and Harrison's going to torch him. So, I don't know how they're going to work that out because Harrison is their whole offense for Arizona. Him and Connors, they literally depend on those guys to do everything. So it should be an interesting game. I'm not back in. I'm not back on board. That Patriots loss just defined years of trauma. So they need to I'm not even getting back on board at 6-6. They have to win a fuckload of games for me to be
wow.
For real, man, because we've done this so many years. What's happening now is last year's Raiders game. Are we going to shit the bed or the Chargers game? Are we going to shit the bed again? Are we going to actually show up and play? So I'm interested more so than back in to see if we win. I'm interested to see if we have the balls to actually go out and play like a tough team. We have everything you need. We have good players. The line is good enough. Everything is good enough for them to go out and win a game. If I was to put it, I'd say them in Arizona could be even, but the Jets have a better staff and better players. But are we going to win that game? Because we've gone through this so many years to watch our team win a game that they should win against the Texans, and then a game that they should win, they just shit the bed. So that's all I got. Go Jets. Until they are positive, I am not believing them because they've done this too many times. So we're we're right there, then we lose.
They got to show it, man. I'm not picking them this week. I mean, maybe that'll change by the end of the week. We'll see the injury report. I'm not. They beat Arizona, and I will start to say, okay, now you're at home against Indy. Handle your business. Get to the bye. Get healthy at 5-6. Go from there. I got to see it, man. I got to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your fantastic, electric, revolutionizing phone calls on this show. Joining us right now is our dear friend, Mr. Bonesy.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy, how are we?
Good, man. Good, man. I heard you had a blast on Thursday during the game. I still watching everything from that day.
Did you enjoy the recap video that I posted?
I did, man. I came down with a real strong case of FOMO after watching that. but it was beautiful, man. Just the everybody coming together, even through these times, is what keeps us going. And our community is the best, man. Jets fans are. Even though last week I was seeing a lot of people talk shit about Rodgers, which is pretty ridiculous because, saying that Rodgers is washed is a little too much when you see the man's injured and you see him getting healthier. And I think these 10 days are going to help us a lot with him and the Cayenne. You're going to be our first contestant to tell us how you're feeling throughout the week after drinking this special sauce drink we got going.
I'm feeling great, baby. I'm feeling like the Jets are going 7-1 over the next 8.
From your lips to God's ears.
It's all because of the cayenne pepper, baby.
Hell yeah. This week is a tough one for us because the two things we struggle against are scrambling quarterbacks and tight ends. I see us needing to score 28 points to win at the minimum, maybe throwing a field goal in there. But Devontae said it on his picture. He said Rome wasn't built in a day. And
I did like seeing that, man. I just wish they had one more win right now. Then it'd be like, okay.
Agreed. Agreed. It's starting from you got to say though, we started from the bottom now in the darkness. It couldn't have got any worse than it was.
We hit rock bottom in that first half on Thursday. I agree.
Definitely. And I just got to play like everyone's been saying, one game at a time. I really thought that the play calling was better. Watching Rodgers just look a little more mobile was great, and he's been getting healthier through these games. Even he's getting beat up, but he still didn't get that like really bad hit like he got against Minnesota, where his whole leg almost buckled and he couldn't even. He was coming off the sideline limping and couldn't move. So now he gets these 10 days to break, and let's see what our boys are made of. One thing, we are always the same old Jets. These are always our games that we come in. It's a letdown. But we didn't have Aaron Rodgers in the past. It's always been letdown games because we just couldn't do anything. I remember even the game that we got blown out against Miami. We were alive through the first half and just couldn't score. And they were just doing these long, intricate drives that were eating clock, and we just have no offense. So our offense has to start carrying the flag for us and leading the way. And, my man Joe Douglas survives another week of everybody saying he's got to go. If we could just get on a nice win streak and watch these players that we have on this team, like watching Sherwood develop. That's a day 3 pick. We don't do that type of stuff. We don't draft players and develop them. Let alone draft stars like Garrett. Garrett's Thursday night game, that was a coming out party to the world. That was on national televised TV. And even though there were a bunch of one-handed catches this year on ESPN this week, because there was a lot of one. Devontae Smith had a nice one-handed catch. I forgot who I saw someone else with a crazy one-handed catch, but Garrett's was that reach back, man. That was special. And I don't know. I still will die on the rock that this roster is coaching is why we suck, not the talent on the roster. It is coaching, and I'll die on that rock. But it's Monday. You're drinking the Cayenne. I'm ready to go, baby. Let's keep this hot streak going. I feel like the boys are going to show up a little better, and we're not going to start as slow. Their defense is not terrible. They make plays. They sack the quarterback, but we could put up some points. That touchdown to Devontae is going to just show, if you guys want to blitz, now we're ready. Now you can't blitz, because if you are blitz, we're just going to do that. You can't double team and bracket Garrett and Devontae. So I feel like if everything could just start clicking, good things could be coming, baby. One game at a time. One game at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy. One game, man. Jerome, the Packer fan, up next on the program. What's up, Jerome?
What's going on, everybody? I see some of the Jet fans starting to come around a little bit, but I think y'all need to see a little bit more. But I'm optimistic because of what we saw in that game. Yeah, but no, for a while, man, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I never saw this coming with you guys, but there is a path for you guys to get to the playoffs. There's a path, and I think having this rest, this well needed rest, y'all got guys that are banged up and nicked up. They can kind of recover. Um, I think y'all found something with the scheme of the offense with Devontae and Garrett, Breece. If they can bottle that up and do that going forward, y'all can most certainly run off 5 or 6 games. Hassan Reddick adds another element. He's like a domino piece with that defense. And I think you guys will get after the quarterback. Kyler Murray, he won't be doing all that kind of stuff. You guys can siphon him a little bit. And if the offense jumps out to a 14, 17-point lead, it'll mitigate that run. So you guys game playing that way, y'all can beat Arizona. And what the wild card is like 2 spots, right? 2 spots.
So
isn't
there's
it?
3, but you look at the standings. Like I think the Jets.
Okay.
I mean, there's
No.
gonna be a very flawed team that's the 6th or the 7th seed this year.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where Denver is right now.
Yeah, I see Denver, and that's the key. Denver is the key because they already have a win against y'all, I believe. And y'all can't lose no more to any other AFC team because I think Pittsburgh gets one of those wild card spots. But Mike Tomlin, he just doesn't know how to have a losing season. And so looking at the Denver schedule, Kansas City, they take care of business. Y'all can still get there. Y'all may need a little help, but y'all can still get there. But I think y'all can stifle Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Y'all should be able to beat them. Given what I've seen with the offense with Devontae and Garrett. And that was a coming out party. And if y'all can bottle that up, that'll be y'all identity going forward on offense. And I just see y'all blowing up from there. So y'all can get there. Y'all just can't have no more losses in the AFC. That's all.
From your lips to God's ears, Jerome. I hope so, man. I hope so. This is such a game the Jets always lose. So I got to see them get it done. That's kind of where I'm at right now. All right, I got time for 3 more calls. If you're on hold, you're guaranteed to get on the air. Let's say hello to Jets fan for life. What's up, Jets fan for life?
What's up, Jake? Long time no talk.
What's up, man? Now, remind me, you're in Spain, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm in Spain. I gotta stay up till now since daylight savings time. The game was at 1 a.m.
Oh my God!
But you know what? I take naps during the day.
Yep.
To make up. I just wanted to make a quick a couple of questions. What I think are the Jets doing anything else at the trade deadline?
I mean, I hope they could acquire a run stuffer. It shouldn't cost a ton. I don't know who. I threw out Nathan Shepard because the Saints aren't any good and they just fired their coach. And maybe that's a name. Maybe Quentin Jefferson from the Browns and get him back in the mix to help the defensive line overall. He's been inactive in some games this year, I saw. So those are 2 names I'd look at with Jet ties. But I wouldn't expect anything major.
Whether it be at the trade deadline or in the offseason, I don't know. For me personally, I think Sauce is overrated, and the league is finally catching up to him. As the reps are, he holds on 75 to 80% of the plays, and he doesn't know how to tackle. I think he's soft. It needs to get in the gym, and the Jets need to trade him away see what they can get because I personally think they should keep Reed over Sauce.
Well, his value is going to be low right now if you try to trade him, and also Reed's 30. I don't know that logistically makes sense. Sauce needs to play better. I think he's hurt though. The more you watch him, right? I mean, the tackling has never been his strength. It's also never been this bad. I wonder if you go back. Remember the shoulder injury he suffered week 1 and he missed some time. I wonder if he's playing through that or that maybe affected his confidence, his ability to be physical. I don't know. Just I've watched every snap of this guy's career the last 2 years. He doesn't even look close to the guy who was arguably the best covered corner in the league his first 2 years.
Yeah. And I mean, he gets hurt all the time. He doesn't when he tries to tackle, he's hurt, and he's that, and he doesn't. He tries to arm tackle. I remember the other day he stopped Quincy from making a tackle. He tackled Quincy. He tries to shoulder tackle, and then when on the sideline when he had to stop, he tried to stiff arm the guy instead of tackling him. Get in the gym, get somebody, and I just personally I don't think he's that good. I think he's overrated.
I think he's good. He hasn't been great this year. His coverage skills overall are still very good if you look at it compared to his peers. But, this guy was a first-team All-Pro his first 2 years, and that was the standard you started to think he was always going to be, and that hasn't been the case this year.
Yeah. And I think Woody Johnson, if he doesn't sell the team, get an offensive coach instead of going defense, and let's not pick one of the losers from this season like we've done with Gase and before. Saleh didn't deserve to be fired.
He was probably going to get fired though if it kept going the way it was going.
Well, if he get fired, the one who deserved to lose his job was Hackett. He kept his job. He kept his job and fired the guy that the guys were playing with. He was a player's coach. But like I said, the only way we're going to go somewhere if we go offensive coach. The defense gives up a lot of plays because they're tired. Going 3 and out. They're out there more than half the game. They're not getting any rest.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Good call. But like the defense shouldn't get a pass for the New England game. The offense did its job. Gave you the lead late. Up 5. Don't allow a touchdown. You win the game. And Jacoby Brissett went down the field and they won. It's been everything this year. Kicking game has sucked. That's cost them several wins. Offense has sucked at times. That's cost them games. Defense has sucked. They're 3-6 right now. I want to believe, but I got to see them win this game on Sunday before I can even think about this team getting to, let's say, a 5-6 of the bye week with some winnable games down the stretch. This team still has some ways to go. But I'm rooting for wins every week. I'm rooting for wins on Sunday. Prove us wrong. Prove the down-and-out Jet fan wrong by getting a win on Sunday.
Jets, Jets.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Jacob. In my sick and twisted mind, I love when that meathead goes off on me. I love it. I love when the Jet fan punches signs and imagines it's my face. It's pretty funny. I love it. 3 quick comments. First of all, to Jerome and BMAC, the best team in the NFC resides in Motown, as shown yesterday. Okay, first of all. A name about tomorrow.
Why do you feel the need to say that?
Because Jerome is too positive for this chat, and he has to realize he has to suffer like we do. And the Lions went into that building yesterday and bitch slapped them. It was beautiful. Okay. A name about tomorrow. I keep hearing Sebastian Joseph Day, 6'4", 310 defensive tackles available. I know the Niners have been talking about him. He's a Rutgers kid. So he's a name I could hear the Jets thinking about for tomorrow to add to their defensive line. And about next Sunday, and I hate to agree with Bonesy because 98% of his points are moronic points, but he's right about this. They better score 30 next week to win, okay? Harrison has not been great thus far this year. I could see that being somewhat a wash. Hopefully, Hansy Sauce doesn't grab him every time. But you look at the matchup of Trey McBride against our defense, that could be a nightmare, honestly, especially if you expect Quincy to shadow Murray out of the backfield. I don't know if we have anybody on defense who could defend McBride. I really don't. And again, yesterday, the Cardinals ran for 213 yards. So if the Jets expect to win next week, they better score 30. I don't think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I could see it being a 34-31 game, 34-28 game. But the Jets are going to need to score points next week to win. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and you know what? They have the talent to do it. So I hope they go out there and actually do it because what we saw in the second half is what we thought we were going to see a lot this year of that game on Thursday. Nate says, could someone link this guy a Lions podcast? Yeah, go Lions, Alan. Go enjoy. Alan Hernandez says, we will trade for a run stopper DT. Fotu on IR. Yeah, I mean, what was your favorite Lecky Fotu memory? Jet fans. You know what mine was? But he was too slow to hustle off the field and led to a 12 men on the field penalty against Buffalo on Monday night. What a moment that was, huh? Iconical wear in the house. Sauce is having trouble tackling because I think he got a few head hits. No, not an excuse, but that's why nobody could say he's overrated. He's got to play better, man. If you're out there, we got to expect more. I wouldn't trade him, though. I think that's stupid. He's still a good cover corner. He was still a first-team All-Pro his first 2 years. We don't just forget that. Henny says, just give us some hope like the Mets did. Hey, Mets were 11 games under 500. They had a players-only meeting, and their season turned. Jets lose to Pittsburgh. Devontae gives a speech. Mets had Grimace. Jets have Cayenne Pepper. Just saying. Gotta start somewhere. K Brock writes in, appreciate everything you do, Jake. One game at a time. Let's keep rolling. Jet the hell up, baby. Hey, one game, man. Win Sunday. Prove me wrong. See, I have a bad feeling right now about Sunday. I do. So let's win and let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, one last call. Let's say hello to Evan. What's up, Evan?
Hey, Jake. Long time no talk. Hey, good to see Alan, too. I feel like I haven't listened in a bit. I've been busy with everything that's going on in my life, but good to see him back. I feel like it's been a while since he called in.
He's back. He's been back like the last month or so.
Okay. All right. Good to see him. Yeah, I saw him a couple times, but I didn't realize he was consistent. So good for him, man. So yeah, no, I want to make one point about Sauce, and I'll make it quick on you, but I agree. I think he's playing probably hurt. That's probably a big reason why he's not as good. But at the same time, I do have some concerns about him long term when I think about him as a leader. And what I like about Garrett Wilson is, like, not only is he one of our most talented players, but he's also like one of our better people on the entire team. And I forget which coach said that, but you want your best players to also be your best people. I think with Sauce, not to say he's done anything like horrific or something you don't necessarily want around your team, but I do feel like he's pretty immature. You see his body language every time he gives up a big play. He kind of has that like pouty, almost like Glaber Torres like feel to him every time he makes a mistake. He looks like all sad, and it's just like not a great look. And I think the other part too, and something that went under talked about, I think in the off season, was when we had the joint practice with the Giants, and they asked him about Daniel Jones and how he looked out there, and he kind of like joked around, almost made it sound like Daniel Jones is a scrub. I forget exactly how he put it, but he left it open interpretation that he thinks that Daniel Jones sucks, which I thought was kind of a low blow. Like in the NFL fraternity, you're not really supposed to do that. If you remember last year, like when Chris Jones was asked about Zach Wilson after that Chiefs game, he actually said a lot of great things about Zach Wilson. I respected the hell out of him for that. I think NFL players should have each other's backs, especially against like media members and people that aren't in that fraternity. I thought that was kind of cheap and bad look just on Sauce's part. I don't know what you think about all of that and just his general maturity.
I don't think it had any impact on his play. You know, I just think he needs to play better. You know, I think we could really simplify it. Like, there's been times where he has not been the same dominant corner he's been in coverage. I think he has a confidence problem right now. I don't think he's playing with the same swagger that he plays with on the field that we were accustomed to seeing his first 2 years. Like, Sauce felt invincible first 2 years. Now, all of a sudden, he's been beat a couple times. He's missed some tackles. I think he's playing through something. I think it's obvious when you watch him that he's not as good, anywhere near as good as he was. He's still not awful, though. I think some Jet fans are a little crazy when they say, oh, he's Kyle Wilson now. Like, relax. All right? He's not that bad. All right? He's not he's not like a liability out there in pass coverage. Like, so let's not go crazy, but they need more from him, right? I mean, Breece and Garrett got off the slower starts than we thought, and they've turned it on, especially Garrett. He's been one of the best receivers in the league now. Let's hope Sauce can use these next 8 games and remind everyone why we all believe he's one of the best players in the league at his position.
Yeah, I think this will be a good test for him. This is really the first time in his NFL career he's faced adversity. Like you said earlier, like he came in and immediately was one of the 3 best corners in the league. So I think, keep what I just said in mind. Like, maybe it means nothing. Maybe it will mean nothing. I didn't think much of it at the time until I saw some of the kind of body language stuff I'm seeing on the field. But we'll look to see. Now he's got some adversity. I'm sure he's on Twitter a lot. I'm sure he's seeing what people are saying about him. I
think that's a problem too, right? Sauce Grabner and all. I think he's letting it affect him. I think he's got to go back to just be like, my advice to him would be stay off social media, man. You don't need it.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs to be on Twitch. I don't think he needs to be streaming himself. Like, focus on football. Let's see how he bounces back. I'm obviously rooting for him. I'm a Jet fan. I'm going to root for every guy that wears our jersey. But, let's. I hope he digs out of it. I hope it's just a little bit of a slump. Everyone goes through it, so we'll see how he reacts.
Good call, Evan. Call back more, Evan. I know you're a busy guy, but we love what you bring to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and watched. A lot of fun. Hit the like button on your way out of here. Reminder, join the Patreon. I'm going to send Gator to the list of names for November at the end of the day. So join the Patreon if you haven't, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Appreciate everyone on there who supports daily. Discord was popping over the weekend. Yesterday, watching all the games. Basically, we had our YouTube chat in real time on Discord. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you all for your support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. Film review with the great Andrew Fialco is coming your way at 4 p.m. today. So I'm looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your support. Thanks for helping this channel reach 40,000 subscribers. Still can't believe it. JETS. Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good one, everybody. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 2024, we are all aboard. Choo-choo, the Lane train. Hello, Lane. Happy New Year.
So I had a nice beer last night, and then, so it was nice. Who do you think will make it to the NFC Championship game? Do you have the Dolphins, or do you have the Broncos make it this year?
I think you mean
the Jets are not going to make it.
No, they're not.
That's terrible. Yeah, Quinn Williams, Bruce Hall, and who's number 55 on the Jets also?
I don't know.
Do you think Hackett would take the job going into next year if Zala will not stay? He stinks. I mean, how do you feel?
Lane, thank you for the call. A lot there, Nick. Is there anything that stood out that you want to respond to? Do you think the Dolphins are going to play the Broncos in the NFC title game? Real quick, your thoughts on the Jets' best player on Thursday, running back Bruce Hall.
He's a great player, man. Give me Bruce Hall, 100%.
What a call by Lane. The Lane trade.